In 2023, the Minnesota Timberwolves had a season from hell. Karl Anthony Towns was limited to just 29 games due to injury, the Gobert trade hasn't panned out thus far, and the team consequently fell short of their lofty expectations. However, the Timberwolves still made the playoffs in the face of chaos. Not only that, Anthony Edwards made an all-star leap and will be even better next season. Jaden McDaniels has proven to be an excellent young player for this team. Conley has been a stabilizing presence for this team, and Naz Reid was able to return on a terrific deal. Here's why the Timberwolves should be taken very seriously in 2024. A very dangerous team that's gonna be able to contend with the best of the best. Be sure to leave a like on the video, as each like makes a tremendous difference for the channel, and be sure to sub to the channel for even more content like this. Everything was far from ideal for the T-Wolves last season, but the insane play of Anthony Edwards helped them to become a 42-win team that made the playoffs. Since being in the league, Ant has showed flashes of being the athletic freak that could one day dominate the NBA. But it's safe to say that his time is now. During his rookie season, he sets a ton of records for both the franchise and the league as a whole, and in his sophomore season, he was even better. He jumped to 21 points per game on improved efficiency, dropped 35-5 in the play-in tournament game against the Clippers to propel them to the second playoff appearance in 17 years, and was unreal in his playoff debut. In his first playoff series, Ant dropped 36 points on 52% shooting on the road in Game 1 at just 20 years of age. And for that series, Ant made history by having the most points scored in a single series by a player 20 years of age or younger. That series proved that Ant belonged in the conversation for one of the best shooting guards in the league. But in year 3, he got even better. He averaged 25 points per game on the best efficiency of his career, made the All-Star team, has now made more threes than any player ever before turning 22, and became the second youngest player to score at least 35 points in consecutive playoff games when he did it last year against Denver. But the thing is, he's still not close to reaching his ceiling. He can become even more efficient as a player, he can improve defensively, and he still could evolve in terms of his playmaking. Ant isn't exactly going to peak at just 22 years of age next season, but given his dynamic scoring package and his steady improvement through his first 3 seasons, I do expect him to be an All-NBA caliber player. Last season, the T-Wolves' offensive rating suffered tremendously due to the loss of Karl Anthony Towns and the growing pains of the new frontcourt pairing of him and Gobert. But with Cat healthy, expect their offense to be more explosive. There's a ton of discourse surrounding Cat's career. Many have taken note of his inconsistencies in the NBA playoffs. However, Cat is a really talented big man that has lived up to #1 pick status. A 7-footer who can stretch the floor at an elite level, be productive in the paint, operate as an effective playmaker, and take on defenders off the dribble don't grow on trees. But Cat has all those qualities and more. He has 4 seasons of shooting 40% from 3 or better, has averaged 24 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists on 51% from the field over the last 3 seasons, and has shot 39% from 3 on 6 3-point attempts a game in those seasons. The major question with Cat next season isn't whether he can be the #1 option, because I think Ant has solidified himself as that. The question is, how can Cat and Gobert work together in the front court? The T-Wolves were just 16-16 when those two played together in the front court. Cat expectedly shot the furthest away from the rim he ever had, and with such a small sample size to try to work out a clunky fit on paper, Coach Finch even went small at times by playing Naz Reid instead. Regarding this pairing, many people feared Cat's ability to guard in space, or lack thereof, would kill the Timberwolves. But ironically, the Timberwolves were a great defense all season and were elite when Ant, Conley, McDaniels, and Gobert shared the court with him. The problem with the Timberwolves was their offense, but there's reason to be optimistic here. Remember, Cats wasn't a full participant in camp last year due to an illness and, again, played just 29 games in the regular season due to injury. The Cats-Gobert pairing wasn't sensational in year one, but we can't definitively know how well they'll work together with such a small sample size. With Mike Conley in the fold, an offensive hierarchy established within this team, and learning from the mistakes of last season, Coach Finch can make this team a respectable offense while keeping them elite on the defensive end of the floor. The T-Wolves got a bargain deal in bringing back Naz Reid, a player who set career highs in points, rebounds, and field goal percentage. He's an impactful player on both ends of the floor who can operate in the pick and roll, finishes well inside, has an underrated ability to put the ball on the floor and take on slower-footed defenders off the dribble, can stretch the floor, and makes the right pass. He seems to make winning plays in the minutes that he's given, and at just 23, the T-Wolves have a nice young piece that will be with them for the foreseeable future. Another young impactful piece on this team is Jaden McDaniels, a 6'9" wing who averaged a career high of 12 points per game while shooting a very efficient 52% from the field and 40% from 3 last season. McDaniels is ultra versatile in his defensive ability, being agile enough to take on a host of perimeter threats out there, and has been very effective at stopping the best of the best in isolation. There definitely should have been a strong consideration for him to make all defensive teams last year, and foul trouble is practically the only flaw you can see from him at that end. Offensively, he's ideal given his value as a more off-ball player, and even if he doesn't take a huge offensive leap next year, he's a game changer for the T-Wolves as a team. The T-Wolves have a few others who will be impactful in 2024 as well. Mike Conley was a huge pickup from the trade deadline as a high IQ player that can play make, stretch the floor as he shot 42% from 3 last year, and serves as a great leader and locker room presence for the team. Karl Anderson has been a winning player since his days in San Antonio and does all little things to be a positive for this team. And entering his 5th season, Nickeil Alexander-Walker was a revelation from 3 in the 2023 playoffs, shooting 40% from 3 on 5 attempts a game. Realistically speaking, the Timberwolves practically have everything you need to be contenders in 2024. They're going to be a great defense, they have a young superstar in the making in Ants, their second option is a 24-10 beast, and they have great depth. Ultimately, their season is going to be determined by whether they can right the ship concerning their offense, and how Coach Finch can best utilize Cats and Gobert together. And if they can work this out, don't be shocked if the T-Wolves potentially make a deep run in 2024. With that being said, what are your realistic expectations for the T-Wolves next season? Do you see Ant becoming an All-NBA caliber player? Can you see the Timberwolves making the Western Conference Finals? Let me know in the comments section down below. Be sure to leave a like on the video as each like makes a tremendous difference for the channel, and be sure to sub to the channel for even more content like this. Hope to see you all in the next one, and stay tuned.